My name is DK Diamantes. His name is Bricky. He's got all that sweet, sweet, ridiculous 40k info. But before he gives it to us, if you enjoyed today's episode, head on over to patreon.com/AdeptusRidiculous and consider supporting your favorite weirdos. We have access to the Discord, HD posters, bloopers if they happen, a lot of really cool stuff, and patreon.com/Adeptus Ridiculous. And Bricky, if I wanted to get some really ridiculous merch, where, pray tell, would I go?
Pray tell, he says. We would go to orchid8.com, orchid8.com. Check out the amazing merch. We got hoodies, t-shirts, stickers, etc. Also, I found out that if you actually want to get your order internationally before Christmas, you can by using either DHL or UPS shipping. However, I do warn you that the shipping costs are astronomical. So that is I don't care if I have to spend the extra money, I need it soon type of deal.
Yeah. That's pretty amazing that you can actually get it internationally before Christmas, because Christmas is like, what, 2 weeks away?
Someone purchased a DHL shipping to Romania, and it cost the shipping for like, I think 2 hoodies or something cost them like $40, which is a lot of money. But it got there in 5 days.
Wow.
So you know, like, it's an option. Obviously, I don't get to set the shipping prices, but regardless, besides all that, if you're in America, buy it now if you want to get it by Christmas. And also, Kaivis K Book Club will be this week, we think, probably.
Yeah, probably. Sure.
Pretty soon. Hopefully.
Soon-ish.
Very soon. Finish the book.
TM. It'll be mid-January, I guess now. God, it doesn't feel like it's almost the middle of January.
It's literally December, doofus.
I know, December, sorry. It doesn't feel like it's the middle of December. It doesn't feel like Christmas is literally right around the corner.
I can't believe you've sabotaged this podcast already, DK.
Already. I've said January instead of December. Podcast ruined. I'll hand in my retirement papers.
Crushed. Bricky is my name.
Bricky.
DK is what I meant to say. Would you like a quote?
Yeah, I'm gonna fuck this up so bad, dude. Ugh. But go ahead, hit me with the quote.
All right. It says, quote, "These are not soldiers, nor warriors. This enemy is an act of murder given flesh, and they will not stop until terror is the only thing that lives. Captain Jefta Kull executed for cowardice."
The end of that really makes that quote. They're not. So it sounds like it's some kind of Xenos to me. Like it sounds like, because he said they're not soldiers,
nor warriors.
Nor warriors. It's just like what was it? Murder made flesh.
Murder given flesh.
And they just want to make terror. Like immediately, I was like, oh hey, Night Lords. I'm gonna. We're really nice to the Nids fans, so I'm gonna say it's got to be like some very specific hive fleet that comes in and does some shit.
No,
I'm gonna go. Oh, I guess it would be too soon to do another Nids episode.
It's literally like the episode after. Yes, it would be a little too soon for Nids.
It's some Xenos thing that I don't know about, or maybe it can't be Necrons. Yeah, Xenos shit.
I am shocked that you don't get this. Think about terror and murder.
Terror and murder. Something chaos?
Oh my god.
What? What is it?
Shy, are you also upset about this one right now? Shy,
I never get them. I've gotten 1 out of like 5.
Oh, she posted Travis Scott rubbing his head. You've done fucked up.
Whatever. He can go have a
It's
Travis
the Drukhari. Yeah, murder given flesh. Yeah, I'm gonna bully you. I'm gonna go push you over and take your lunch money, DK. I cannot believe.
Oh no, that is a Travis Scott forehead moment.
Oh, that's almost a Bricky forehead moment, but it's not quite that big.
My forehead's not that big.
Not that big. Oh my. Okay, but we've talked about Drukhari before. We've talked about Drukhari before. So today we're doing similar to what we did with the Orc episode, where we talked about the clan cultures. We're talking about the various Drukhari clans which are known as obsessions. So we're going to go a little bit deeper into the Drukhari. We're going to talk a little bit about the specific groups that inherit or not inherit, but are in the dark city of Commorragh, or Commorragh, I don't really know. I don't like to pronounce the GH, because if Wa isn't pronounced that way, then Commorragh.
Don't worry, the Drukhari aren't sponsoring this episode. You can say it wrong.
That's true. But no, so actually I did a lot of research I have 3 full pages of notes taken for this one. Because last night I was doing some extra stuff and I was like, wait a minute, this kind of makes you want to start a Drukhari army. And I'm not gonna, because I have enough armies.
You say that, but
I
now
know.
everybody's gonna bully you into getting a Drukhari army.
It's really kind of cool. I'm impressed with the I'm obviously our signature elf hater, and you are our signature ultramarine bullier.
Yes, indeed.
And I don't know what Shy hates, but she probably hates something.
Everything that's not orcs is what she hates.
Most things that aren't orcs. If it ain't green, she ain't hanging around it. She hates us. Yeah, there we go.
You know, that's fair. That's fair.
But I was like, I really like it when they have a lot of culture is one thing, but also a lot of intrigue in how they develop the different characters and cults. And there's a lot more in here than I thought, particularly in the witch cults are really neat. So I want to talk about them. So a reminder for both you and our audience, the Drukhari are the Dark Eldar. They are the ones that were the most hedonistic and tainted by they had their horrible ways of murder and dance and art and all that stuff, and they centralized that in the large port city of Commorragh in the Webway, which is why when Slaanesh was birthed, they only got a pinky finger on that damn Webway, and the only way they stave off Slaanesh is to do horrible Slaanesh things, and that keeps her satiated. And so they do not lose their soul to she who thirsts.
So the Drukhari are the ones that did not leave on like the craftworld ships, because craftworld Eldar were like, yo, you guys, too extreme. This is we've really gone way too far. I'm fuck this shit, I'm out.
Yes,
and the Drukhari are sort of what's left over. They still like doing all the hedonistic, lusty torture, crazy nonsense.
Imagine you had New York City and it was really going to shit, so a lot of people left New York City. Those are the craftworld Eldar. But then someone bombed New York City to the Stone Age, but they completely forgot to bomb the jail. And now the jail has broken free and is taking over New York City. That's the Drukhari.
Okay. So they are indeed the worst of the worst.
They are the worst. They are the most sadistic. Now, one would say, oh, they do these horrible things to save their lives, which is true. But to state that they don't like it is also incorrect. They do very much like it.
Yeah.
So the Drukhari operate almost entirely out of Commorragh, a place in the Webway that includes insane 3-dimensional spires, complete lack of gravity. Not all of areas, but in some areas it's completely like upside down, left, right, top, down. It is in multiple dimensions. It is a labyrinth of a city. It is nearly impossible to navigate unless you are a dark. Like, you need to be an Eldar for one, so that you have the mind to navigate it, and then you need to know the city. You know, it's like trying to navigate. It's like trying to navigate like a major city in the US, like Boston, without knowing where you're going, without a map, and you're just like, I'm so lost.
You're like from a foreign country that doesn't have like a major metropolitan area. It's just like this really suburban place, and then you try and navigate like New York and the subway system.
Yeah, you just won't get it, and then you don't even speak English, and you're just like, oh god.
It's like, oh, this is terrible. That's also why Commorragh hasn't really been like invaded or anything, because it's like, it's impossible. How the fuck are you gonna invade that? You can't tell up from down.
Like, you can invade it to an extent, but since the majority of the Dark Eldar are all like, even though the Dark Eldar are a very small race compared, their entire group is basically situated in this one city. So you are attacking this, like, an entire race. And so while, let's say, the Imperium probably could, if they dedicate enough resources, wipe them out, they would then get murdered from every other section. Tyranids would invade, orcs would kill them, who knows?
It's too costly to wipe them out.
It's way too costly. And also...
That's every faction, right? The Imperium, if they really wanted to, could wipe out any one faction they wanted, but if they did, it would leave them vulnerable to literally everything else because of the catastrophic amount of casualties they'd take in trying to wipe out that one race.
Not quite. I would say they couldn't do it to orcs or Tyranids, not chaos either.
Yeah.
But like small races like craftworlds, which would probably get away from just trickery alone, or like Tau, definitely Tau.
Yeah.
But anyway, so Commorragh as a city, also known as the Dark City. Now these are basically akin to, or they have 3 separate organizations that take up the entirety of the city, and they kind of flow with each other and together. Because remember, Drukhari are pirates. That's the concept. They have a port city, and they, in their coin, like, there is money, but money is also weapons and slaves, especially slaves.
Oh, gross.
Slaves are a currency.
Yep, that sucks.
And it does suck. And there are 3 major things. There are the Kabals, the CULTS, and the Covens, all with a C. Cabal's a K, but...
I was going to say, I know Cabal's K, so you're wrong.
I am wrong.
Actually, Bricky.
I'm so sorry. They all have a K in the beginning, whatever. The Cabals are a autonomous military group, and they kind of exist in 3 separate worlds. They're kind of like a household of nobles, like a knight house, and then they're also a pirate group, and simultaneously a criminal, like, cartel. They're all 3 kind of combined into one. It's one of those things I was actually curious about when I was doing the research. Like, how do I distinguish Drukhari from Night Lords? Because they have a very similar vibe, murder and torture. And the difference really is that the Drukhari do it, one, for necessity, because they need slaves and they deal in slaves.
Sure.
But they also do it as like an art form. Like, they're pirates, but they're also like, they trade, they have noble houses of like family and importance, and the idea of murder and slave taking and raiding is just as much of a artistic vibe as it is a necessity. Night Lords are scum.
Yeah.
They are gangers and prisoners, and they murder for the fun of it. Which, don't get me wrong, Drukhari do too. Yeah. But it's a different kind of vibe.
So it's kind of like if a criminal syndicate ran a town or a city. That's kind of what the Cabal are, because it's, criminal syndicate has your sort of hierarchy that has like this sort of, I don't want to say noble feel to it, but they've got like, echelons.
Oh no, they have a noble feel to it. The Cabal definitely have a noble feel to it. They dress up. They have rank and status. They're also your military organization. They're your main source of military.
Oh, okay.
So, for example, like they're the main highest upper tier of the Commorragh power structure, and they're the primary military strength. They are the main responsibility for the flow of slaves, and most Drukhari want to join a Cabal. For the same reason that if you're in a prison, you want to join a gang as a safety in numbers kind of concept.
Oh, okay.
Now, getting into these Cabals is very, very painful and difficult, and it requires a lot of testing and all that. But even so, it's better, because if you're alone, you're dead meat in Commorragh.
Oh, really? So even if you're a Dark Eldar or a Drukhari and you're not in a Cabal, chances are somebody's gonna find you and shank you and just kill the shit out of you and torture you or turn you into a slave. Or
you might get turned into a slave. They like Eldar slaves as much as they like human slaves. There's just more humans.
Oh, so they're actually like Drukhari slaves. Like they don't. Like the Drukhari don't really care if they have a Drukhari slave. Like they'll absolutely enslave their own people.
The Drukhari believe in slave equality.
Oh.
Drukhari believe in equal rights and also equal shackles.
Oh boy,
Vote Drukhari now.
Yeah, vote Drukhari or else.
Vote Drukhari or wind up in the skinning pits.
Yeah, I mean, I guess when you said that it's literally like if only the jail was left. Yeah, I mean that's that jail mentality of like you got to join a gang or you're dead.
Equal opportunity murder. But for example, like Shy posted a picture. That is a Cabalite warrior, Cabalite. Now, as you can see on him, he's got all the spikes and stuff, but you can see the icon of his Cabal both on his like loincloth thing and on his helmet.
Oh yeah.
So they have their ornate things. He's got like a skull attached to him. I think I can see on his left side.
Oh yeah, it looks like an orc skull actually.
I think there's an orc getting shanked in the background, and there's also an orc beneath his feet.
Oh shit, you're right. I see the checkerboard. No, you're right. Yeah.
So the first Cabal we'll be talking about is the Cabal of the Black Heart, and I'm not sure if you remember this well, but do you remember a certain gentleman known as Asdrubal Vect?
Vaguely.
He was the guy who kind of took over the city. He was like the head honcho.
Yeah, and he's a big bad douchebag.
He's a big bad douchebag. Quote, quote,
Quote,
I am the master. I am the one who controls this place and much of the city around it. I am the one to whom all bow. I am the vanquisher of worlds, the destroyer of dreams, the creator of nightmares. I am the pirate king, the renegade prince. I am all these things and more, for I am Asdrubal Vect, and all the warriors of the Black Heart are mine to command.
Whoa.
So
Homeboy knows how to make an intro.
This is him introducing himself to his prisoners. This is him introducing himself to his slaves. He's like, "You're gonna know who I am. You're gonna learn."
And people think I'm an edgelord, and this guy exists. Whoa.
Dude, his most popular quote is, "We are the lords of despair, masters of terror. Dread and agony are our meat and wine, and they are plentiful indeed." He's such an asshole.
He shops at Hot Topic 100%.
He doesn't shop at Hot Topic. He owns Hot Topic. He's CEO of the hottest topics.
He looks very cool though. That picture Shy posted of him is dope. Is that that is a skeleton on his throne. Okay.
Shy, do you have the image of him with his like Princess Leia looking slaves?
Oh my god, of course he does. Of course. That's a very cool I'm assuming that's the Black Heart logo.
Yeah, hence the heart is black, Yeah. Black Heart. The Black
She
Heart
whiz.
The Cabal of the Black Heart is actually not a particularly exciting Cabal. It's mainly just like the big bad.
Okay.
Yes, I guess you can see him here. This is the old mini, I think. He's got like his slaves on this pimp chair.
That is some Return of the Jedi shit right there.
I kind of hate that mini so much, but
is it because the Princess Leia?
There
slaves?
it is. There's the picture.
Oh my god.
Oh my
Holy
god.
Shit.
What an absolute pimp lord.
That's such an old picture too. Like you can just tell by the art style that was done in like the fucking the 90s, 80s, late 80s.
It's very old. It's really dumb too, but it makes me laugh. But the Black Heart, they're your very basic Cabal. And there is a lot to them, but the main idea is that they're the largest Cabal. They're the biggest, they run the most stuff, they have the most trade, and Vect is such a bad man that no one will really touch him. And everyone's too scared to touch him. In fact, there are multiple, so the Archon is the leader of a Cabal, but there are multiple Archons in this Cabal. The thing is that a lot of these Archons work together because they all flow into Vect and the Cabal, the Black Heart. They hate each other, but none of them will ever murder each other, because if they do, Vect might get angry. When you think of the Nids, you think of the Swarmlord. When you think of the Orcs, you think of Ghazghkull. When you think of the Drukhari, you think of Vect.
Gotcha. Okay.
Now, the next Cabal I want to talk about is the Cabal of the Poisoned Tongue. There's actually a lot of Cabals and cults, but I'm mainly going to be rolling off the ones that you can play in-game, because I feel like I really like this episode. I really enjoyed this topic, and I feel like we might get some Drukhari fans out of it. So I might as well pick the ones that they can do. The Poisoned Tongue. Now, this is a dual effect on a concept.
Okay.
They are poison tongue because one, they're very good with poison weapons. Now,
No way.
the Drukhari use poison weapons as a major source of their actual weaponry. In game, it's actually interesting because no matter what you're shooting at, you'll always like wound them on a certain number because you're poisoning them. So, you know, you might have a really bad strength, but because you're poisoning, you're able to do like wound a big target on a certain number.
Oh, that sounds very helpful. That sounds like it would make the poison tongue a popular choice among the Drukhari.
It is. Cabal the Black Heart is probably the most ran, but the poison tongue is pretty good, and the affinity for poison weapons is a big part of it. However, the other part of the poison tongue is an actual state on their speaking. They are insidious. They if a Drukhari tells you something, you should assume it's a lie.
Of course.
If a poison tongue person tells you something, you don't know what the fuck it is. It could be the truth, but they could be saying the truth to fuck with you. Like, you have no idea. They are the most sharp-witted in terms of their, like, they have spies everywhere. There is a poison tongue agent in every bar, in every arena. There is someone everywhere, and they are by far the most insidious and whisperers of rumors and subterfuge and all that kind of stuff. And they are actually ran by a Archon, a female Archon, someone known as Lady Aurelia Malice. Malice as in Malys.
Of course, because you couldn't spell it like malice.
Because you couldn't spell it like malice.
Yeah, you can't do that. That's too on the nose, spelling it like that. You got to add the Y to make sure. You know, hey, we it's not. See, we switched it up.
She's known as the intellectual she-devil, which is a strange thing. But they get the poison tongue enjoys like a very high position in the Commorragh society, or Commorragh society, I guess is the term. They have a ton of trueborn. If you remember, there's like true birthed Drukhari and like the rebirthed ones. If you are trueborn, you're like much higher. You're like a cut above, you're like a purebred, and so you're a lot more fancy and important. It is also assumed that the only person that her ex-lover was Vect himself.
Oh, that's awkward.
It's a little awkward, but the weird thing about her is that very often when she's in her quarters alone, people like they'll hear a second voice, but she's always in there alone. But she converses with a second person at all, like very often, which is assumed that she is kind of dealing with the supernatural a little bit.
Oh, she's a ghost whisperer.
A little bit. People don't really know what the hell is up with her. She enters her room alone, and then she talks to a mysterious patron. And they can register only one sign of life. They can tell only one person is in that room, but she is talking with somebody else, and there is someone talking to her. And we don't know why or how or where.
So it's not possible that she's like convening with like chaos or anything, because they'd be able to see that or figure that out. She's just talking with the spirits.
We have no idea, because psychic power, while sometimes dabbled with, is a big no-no with the Drukhari, because it invites Slaanesh to get them.
Oh, that's fair. Yeah, they probably would hate psychers and psychic stuff, because that would. Also, that logo is that'd make a great tattoo.
The poison tongue?
Yeah, the snake with a little drip. That'd make a killer tattoo. If you were like a big, like, you know, you're really into 40K, you're really into like rolling the poison tongue is your faction on the tabletop, that'd be a sick tattoo to put on like your shoulder or something.
I would highly recommend we do not get a tattoo of the Drukhari.
That's fair. Or if you got like two of them facing each other, like on your collarbone, so like that'd be dope. Shy posted that big thing, and I just can't get over Malys for malice. Like, just spell it. Just spell it the fucking way you want to spell it. Malice. Just spell it like malice. We all get it. You're not as clever as you think you are, 40K. Jesus.
Were you just getting ready for a Jesus up there?
Jesus.
There it is. Popping the bingo cards.
Yep.
All
yeah,
right.
Gotta help the people out.
Next up is actually my favorite of all of the Cabals. This is the Cabal of the Obsidian Rose. Now, the Obsidian Rose is actually they control the largest amount of weapon shops in the city of Commorragh, and they have a iron grip on the entire arms trade. Not only is their logo super dope.
Ooh, that is slick. Also, another one that would be a great tattoo.
That would actually
and it's
be
kind
a
of minimalist too, because like it probably wouldn't hurt as much because the spider tongue or the poison tongue, depending on where you got it, would hurt like a bitch.
That's true. But the Obsidian Rose, they have a total like death grip. Like I'm talking responsibilities, cool DK. But there's more things in life, like getting slaves all fucking night.
Yeah, gotta get that.
Gotta get that death
currency.
I gotta be honest, DK. Ever since I lost my virginity, I couldn't be a Death Grips fan anymore.
So you're still a Death Grips fan, is what you're saying?
Very good. I'm proud of you, my son. You've done well.
Thank you. Taking a bow. You can't see it, but I'm taking a bow. You know, I've learned well from the meme masters here.
So the Obsidian Rose, these are like the major weaponsmiths of Commorragh, and anything with the Obsidian Rose logo on it, like that means quality. That means like this is the best equipment that you could buy with either money or slaves. They are immaculate. Weapon crafting is a skill where perfection is not what they're strived for. Perfection is the bare minimum. Sometimes, if a Kabalite warrior is in battle and dares of the Obsidian Rose to get their weapon hit by a blood splatter, they are then hung on the racks of where the slaves are placed due to their insolence.
Ooh!
On the way back home, they are chained back to the front of their stuff because how dare they sully a weapon of this magnitude?
Oh boy.
These are artisans. These are like sculptors of weaponry.
Damn. So how many of their own have they killed for sullying one of these weapons? Because like in combat, it's gonna happen. Right? Like there's no choice. So
no, Drukhari. These are Eldar. They're swift as the wind. They are blurs of motion and hyper intelligent. I bet that if they were good enough, they could be dodging and keeping their weapons safe from blood in time.
Well, I suppose that's true. The only time I can remember Eldar kind of getting bodied, that I've experienced so far, was in the Night Lord's book at the very end when they're fighting off all the Eldar, and even then the Eldar were dipping and dodging and weaving, and they were not having an easy time killing the Drukhari, or
those were craftworlds.
Those were craftworlds too. So, oh boy,
they were fighting howling banshees and stuff, and also they didn't get bodied. I mean, some of the Guardians did, but those are Guardians. Their Archon is a total boss. No, the idea is that they put her to work doing monotonous tasks, assembling weapons day in and day out, over and over again, of just pure monotony, doing the most boring task, which to an Eldar, especially a hedonistic Drukhari, is worse than death. Like it becomes the idea of putting a rod into a barrel for 10 hours a day is worse than death, in the sense of like it's pure monotony and complete what's it called? Like it's a waking nightmare for an Eldar. But anyway, eventually she hatched a scheme, and as she kept on building these weapons, she started to kind of perfect her craft a little bit. And what she would do is she would work tirelessly to make better and better perfect weapons, until eventually she started rising in the ranks of and being promoted. And and soon, eventually, anything that had the seal of Chromis became this major like importance. It's like, oh, this is a sign of quality. This logo. And as they kept on going up and up and up, she was eventually invited by the Archon, who totally forgot she even existed, to provide a tribute of her work. And when she arrived, they all pulled out these fancy-pantsy hidden weapons that they had stored and stashed, these master-crafted, like hidden weaponry. And just at this time, all of the Archon's guards' weaponry is malfunctioned because she made the bastards.
Oh boy. Womp womp.
And so she had this long scheme where all of the major weapons of the Archon were hers. And so she had them all break at the same time while she pulled out the hidden new weapons, killed the bastard, and then took over as the main Archon.
Good for her. Good for her. That's a dope way to do it.
And now, as the perfectionist Archon with the hard arms trade, Obsidian Rose Mark is a true full sign of quality, whether it's a firearm or a blade. And anyone who doesn't have any kind of imperfect workmanship gets dealt with by her own personal pain engine, which she calls the Overseer. Now, if you don't know what a Talos pain engine is,
I was about to ask what that was, yeah.
It's this fucker.
Oh, whoa, what is that? I mean, obviously it's a pain engine, but holy shit.
Oh, here's something even cooler. Bada bing. That is known as a Talos. It is a homunculus.
Talos.
I know it's the same name. It's a homunculus pain engine of contorted flesh, toxins, and machinery used as like a slave.
Oh, did we vaguely talk about this in the Drukhari episode? This seems familiar now.
We did. This is her own personal one called the Overseer. And if you didn't like Chromis enough, most of the time, whenever she oversees slave raids against real space, she mainly goes for Eldar slaves because they have the dexterity and the intrigue to put her weapons to good use.
So she's looking for a worthy opponent to use her very finely crafted weapons for. Mm-hmm. She doesn't want to just kill any little maggot or any little bug. She wants her weapons to be used for a greater purpose.
So what's cool, this? Ricky's favorite Cabal has an Archon whose main purpose is slaving other Eldar. On brand.
What's that you say? Your favorite Cabal also has an Overseer named Talos after your favorite Night Lord trilogy?
No. It's
all adding up.
The pain engine's called the Overseer. It's just the Drukhari pain engines. They can be called Kronos or Talos.
Oh, nah, you're backpedaling. Whatever.
Fuck you.
It all adds up. It's all there.
You don't know nothing.
The numbers, Mason. What do they mean?
The numbers, Mason. Why can't you remember? Let's talk about the cults, the witch cults.
Oh boy.
Now the witch cults are fun. They're also known as the Hecatari. In fact, in the tabletop, you can actually run the troops for each obsession, Cabals, cults, and covens. And you can actually have an upgraded version. So you can run Cabal Trueborn, or you can run something called the Hecatari Blood Brides.
Oh, what a cool name.
They're super dope. So the witch cults are second in command underneath the Cabals. And the Cabals normally sponsor them. And they serve as the main entertainment / nourishment of Commorragh.
Oh. When you say nourishment, what exactly do you mean? They're not like...
No, so the witch cults are gladiators. They are sports. They create shows and performances. And the idea is that... The concept is that the hedonistic, sadistic nature of the Drukhari, while killing in the streets is a thing that happens, too much killing in the streets for that lust of pain and murder would cause total collapse of society.
Sure.
So the idea is that these witch cults put on a show. They are dancers and performers. They are gladiators, but they do it as an art form. And by doing so, they create like a coliseum, and they invite the Cabals and the Drukhari populace to go watch. And by them watching and seeing this agony and pain and murder, they leave like with a full belly almost. They leave like with a glow, like newly refreshed.
Okay, so they get their fill of bloodlust and hedonism and all that terrible stuff, but they also don't completely collapse their infrastructure.
Society. So
right. So instead of
satiate-
cheering for a sports team, they cheer for a blood bride?
for a witch cult.
Yeah,
or
for a
the
witch cult.
witches, which are led by a succubus, which is the head, like an archon for a cabal. It's a succubus for a witch cult. There's a little bit of like a kind of a female gossip girl kind of thing going to it, where like you might see in a TV show where they have the back room where all the exotic dancers go to put on their makeup, and they kind of are a little conniving with each other. They have like that kind of stereotype.
Oh, right, yeah.
There's a little bit of that here because, as Shai has shown you already, the witches don't wear much.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, it looks like they the bare minimum. But hey, man, their arms and legs are well protected.
Well, the idea is that because obviously the Drukhari are very into sex, and that's like part of it. It's a lot of people think that's the only thing. It's obviously not. But as part of it, so the witches dress like they're going to meet a lover, and they utilize things like different kinds of blades. They'll put like barb coils in their hair, or they'll have poisoned blades, or sometimes just their fists. They'll use spears and whips and razor nets. They have like flails and like knives in their boots. Or sometimes they'll just dress very lightly and just use their hands. And that's its own technique. And so each witch cult has their own dedicated coliseum and arena.
Oh, well,
and
good for them.
And each arena is like decorated and shows off their own level of prestige and value.
Oh, that's cool. So it's literally like a sports stadium.
It is literally a sports stadium, but they have their own way of decorating it and creating their own concept. So whenever witch cults are hired as to help with a raid, they really are there to help increase the stock of slaves, but also to impress their succubus and to test their dancing and murder skills, to therefore improve it in the Colosseum to help the witch cult make more money.
Damn.
It's really cool, man. It's super awesome.
That's yeah. They're dope.
Shai, do you have that image of that witch cult lady who's like holding a guy's head with her feet? And she's like a contortionist. I know, of all things for me to say, but it's a really the concept of like them being. Oh, I found it.
Oh.
It's not
Doge
holding it with
Van Dyer would be so proud of you for finding a picture.
There it
like
is.
that.
It's not holding it with its feet. It's actually like, there we go.
Oh, whoa.
That's actually, ironically, a very, I'd say, accurate representation of a witch cult, because they're contortionists. They're dancers.
That is such a wild picture. Like, because her leg is completely backwards.
Mm-hmm.
That's wild. Also, someone needs to Photoshop a picture of Doge Van Dyer just smiling happily where that guy's head is, because
Nothing to see here, Imperial. Move along.
Yeah, I assure you, this is necessary for the greater good.
But so each witch cult obviously getting... I have a quote.
Hey!
I've never seen anything move like that. Sergeant Hakemi is the fastest knife in the regiment. I've seen her hack open an orc before it could blink, let alone raise a weapon. But even she said she couldn't track that thing when it hit those Mordians down there. Just flashes and blood, then screaming. I've never seen her surprised before. Normally, I'd stand toe-to-toe with my enemy and let my knife do the talking. But right now, maybe I'm not so unhappy to be stuck up on this wall doing sentry duty. It's a private of the Brontean Long Knives 222nd Company.
Damn. So even the best human guard knife fighter could not possibly compare with an Eldar.
I mean, generally, yes. You could always argue for a super hardcore Catachan 400 or 40 years of the service, Iron Hand Strachan, with his big iron claw. But
yeah,
when it comes to speed, no way.
Yeah. You don't
now Strachan might be like, I bet this bitch is gonna be over here. Well, boom! And then just fucking deck her in the face because he got lucky. Yeah. And then just cave her skull in. But naturally, that she's gonna just be like a blur.
Mm-hmm. You might not even see. She's probably worse than a blur, because at least a blur you can kind of see. Sounds like the Eldar just like you're not even gonna see the blur.
Yeah, it's hard. So these are kind of this idea of a bunch of it's like, I think it's female and male, but I think it's mostly female performers that are there to impress their succubus, and they kind of shit on each other every so often. But they want to, they are a performance art. They take slaves or stock and they fight them in the gladiatorial arena, and the looks of agony and pain and suffering feed the Commorragh populace. And the more enjoyable the sport, the more they pay, and the more this cult grows in strength.
Okay. So it's pretty important to Commorragh that these arenas do well.
Yes, it is an increase in wealth. It is entertainment. Yeah. For example, the first cult we'll talk about is called the Cult of Strife. This is like the Cabal, the Black Heart. It's the most influential cult in the city, mainly due to the talents of a famous succubus known as Lilith Hesperax. Now, Lilith Hesperax actually just recently got a new model and a new kit. She was actually in a Sisters and Drukhari combo box. But one thing I didn't mention is that the witch cults actually use combat drugs very often.
Of course they do.
They use a ton of performance-enhancing drugs, things to increase their speed and strength and all that kind of stuff.
So it's it's like it's literally like American sports. Yeah,
a little bit. I'd say the drugs are a lot more painful and strong, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Now, Lilith has been known to change the idea of a blood sport to a fine art. She's gone from strength to sheer speed, and at the same time, she doesn't use any combat drugs.
Oh,
and so because of that, seeing her fight brings in hundreds of thousands of spectators that all pay premium high price for this thing. It makes her very rich. And they work a lot with the Cabal, the Black Heart. And Lilith is admired by Vect himself, who is like, I can't wait to see her fight. Let's go, boys. Let's go, lads. He's got his big old booth and he's chilling, looking down, and he's like, Vect, as much of a douchebag as he is, he takes in the sports. He enjoys his time. He's like, it's like when you got that special booth in a football game that Drake is chilling at, right? And
he's got the VIP suite, or like when the president shows up to a football game or something, right?
Exactly. And so Vect their arena is known as the Crucible. And it is a big
Crucible.
Crucible, I know.
Spell it the way you want, man. It's the Crucible.
Also, in that picture Shai posted, Lilith is the one currently putting hands on with that sister. Which, as you can see, she's quite large.
Yeah, she actually is. She's like tall and slender. She doesn't seem like super well. I guess she is. She does. She's got some
Look at her
muscle,
arm.
too.
Look at her
I
arm,
mean, that's
bro. Yeah.
she's got some guns, actually. I mean, damn.
Also,
Okay.
as much as I like my sisters, knowing Lilith, that sister holding her hand is so fucking dead. She is gonna be meat. It is not even a challenge, but it is funny. There actually is a stratagem they have, I think, called the Crucible of Malediction, which is a very Drukhari name.
Yeah.
But in the Cult of Strife, like Vect himself says that Lilith Hesprax is one of the greatest treasures of the Dark City. Which is a pretty good statement.
Simp.
Yeah. I'd be honest. I'd be surprised if they didn't fuck.
I mean, if you're Lilith, you're probably not going to turn down Vect.
I think she'd be like, yeah, bro. All right, give us some money though. Now, the next one we're going to talk about is a fun one. This is of the cults. This is the one I like the most. This is known as the Cult of the Cursed Blade. Now,
ooh, edgy name. I like it.
Now, in Commorragh, a cursed blade is not actually referring to a cursed blade. It is a slang. The cursed blade is an individual or a group that will rebel against their masters. Now, it is assumed that any Archon that invites the witches from the Cult of the Cursed Blade into his group is basically akin to suicide. It's like,
okay.
It's like those idiots who go out and they're like, I'm gonna make friends with bears.
Okay, because you're gonna get mauled.
You're gonna get mauled.
You're gonna get mauled. Yep.
If you invite the Cursed Blade witches into your group, you are going to get stabbed in the back. Treachery, in its own right, is a form of prestige in the Cursed Blade cult. Everything, the ornaments on their body, the harmless jewelry, all hold weapons.
Oh. Okay.
If you have a bracelet, it might have poison in it. If you have a ring, it might have poison in it. If you have a braid, it might be bombs.
Damn, really? Oh, they have bombs in their braids?
They have shoe bombs that they're bringing on. They've got the things they put in their hair. Their makeup might induce hallucinations. Who fucking knows?
Oh, so they might be all like poison ivy, and they blow the little compact, and it's just poison.
Probably. Treachery is their most important idea, and so whenever everything on them is a death trap, everything around them is a death trap. Having them around is in its own right not a good idea.
Yeah, that does not sound like a great. So, like,
here it is. Real quick, this is a Curse of the Cursed Blade succubus only. It's called Traitor's Embrace. It's a pair of metal rods that are sewn into the skin. At the moment of death, these rods cause their bearer's bones to explode outwards, rapidly growing into a jagged cage.
Oh, Jesus. Holy shit.
So when their succubus dies on a 2-up, they take a D6 mortal wounds after making their attacks.
Oh.
Yeah, it's.
Oh boy, that's a lot.
Actually in the actual game, the Cult of the Cursed Blade is the one I want to run the most because I think it's really, really dope.
Yeah.
But the Cult of the Cursed Blade is actually, their main shtick is that, well, they get extra strength, but the main thing is that if you make a saving throw, like I'm gonna save, and it's from an attack, on like a 6, it actually does damage back to them.
Oh, that's pretty nice. So,
it's pretty good.
Are they just like the assassin cult? Like, is that like, yeah, I'm gonna contact you because I really need someone dead, but you're not joining my group. I'm just paying you to go fuck up somebody else. Is that like kind of what their shtick is?
Probably keep them at an arm's distance.
Probably more than an arm's distance.
Probably keep them in the other city.
Yeah, 10-foot pole.
Yes, it is pretty nuts. They're really cool though. Also,
is that what are they basically like assassins that you hire when you really need somebody killed? Is that like kind of their shtick?
Oh no, they're gladiators. They're a witch cult. They have their own. In fact, they have arena. It's called the Nexus Arena. Spelled with an NH for some reason. It's actually one of the most ornate. It is one of the prettiest, the most gorgeous, the most gilded. The difference, though, is that it is a living death trap.
I was about to say, if you go and visit this place, are you like in mortal danger because everything is booby trapped?
Oh, actually, yes. The Colosseum will often shift and adjust, and if you're sitting in the stands, you might be sitting on like a spike pit.
Oh God! Why? So do a lot of people go? Like you said,
they love it.
Oh, is it because of like all of the potential added chaos and like potential extra death that you weren't expecting, that it's like so much more exhilarating?
Well, think of it from a Drukhari point of view. The being so close to death, being sitting in the audience of the Cult of the Cursed Blade, at any point in time, you might be slaughtered by the actual stage itself.
So
for a
that's
Drukhari, that's exciting.
That's the premiere. That's like, you pay extra for that. That's like the pay-per-view.
You can't. The real world danger is something that the Drukhari, they can't help but love it.
That's like the WrestleMania for them, right? That's the premiere of the premiere.
It says, since the opening of the Great Rift, the cult has launched many raids into Imperium Nihilus, both individually and alongside the Cabal the Black Heart. They have not only preyed upon Imperial worlds, but also defended them from Chaos forces to raise their spirits in order to make their final demise all the sweeter.
Wow.
They're fuckers. They are treacherous little bastards.
Treacherous little fuckers. That they
Can
are.
Can you
Holy shit.
imagine the gossip?
Oh. No, I cannot.
Let's talk about the last cult.
All right.
The Cult of the Red Grief.
Ooh.
So, what is the best defense, DK? Think about defense.
The best defense is a good offense.
Wrong. Think again.
Oh.
The best defense is to literally not even be there.
The best defense is to not be in the fight. Good call. That's fair. Yeah, sure.
Now imagine a flotilla. A flotilla of Drukhari raid ships. Giant, like Jabba the Hutt raider skiffs. Venom skimmer craft. Imagine them moving at top speed and them never getting off. But instead, fighting you and jumping between these skiffs like Mad Max style.
Oh.
Moving at top speed.
That sounds hardcore. That sounds dope. Damn. So wait, they're just jumping between skiffs?
The idea is that they never, like, they are constantly moving at high speeds and then hopping between transports and murdering, like literally the floor is lava. If you touch the ground, that is either because you are going for a hard, fancy kill or you're being left behind.
Oh, okay. Ooh, that's a cool looking skiff that Shai just posted. Look at that. I forget
the name of that, but that thing is really cool, yeah.
It's so edgy, too. Like, good God. Bunch of edge. Love the aesthetic.
So they are just a constant moving flotilla, and they are jumping between and jumping, like stabbing in the midair and all that stuff. Their Colosseum is literally just called the Pit.
The Pit.
There is no floor.
Oh.
It is a towering spire of transparent crystals, anti-grav platforms, skimmers. So all the witches there's no floor, and they are just jumping and pirouetting and doing acrobatics across this entire spire of like light and glass and crystal.
Whoa, that sounds like a show.
Do you remember that part in like Ender's Game where they have like that anti-grav thing?
Boy, it's been a while since
It's been a bit. Yeah.
It's been a while since I read the book. It's been a while since I've seen the movie. I vaguely.
Imagine that, but Drukhari.
Okay. It sounds super cool. Like, if out of all of these, again, I'm not a Drukhari. I'm just a dorky human that sits in his little, internet cave. this is the one I'd want to go watch. Like, that's the one that's like just everybody's bouncing all over the place on these crystal whatevers, and that sounds like a hell of a show.
I think it's going to be super. It's super different and and really fun. There's a lot of cool stuff to the
Even if
Red
there
Brief.
was no killing, that would be cool. That's like a fucking Cirque du Soleil show.
There's actually there's an ability they have where they jump out of their transport, and then they murder something, and then you can use a stratagem to put them right back in their transport. So it's that entire concept where they fly in, murder, and fly back. It's pretty cool.
Yep, that's pretty dope. I like them. They're cool.
So those are the witch cults. Now let's talk about the Homunculi Covens.
Oh boy, Homunculi. That's never good.
The Covens are strictly involved at being master torturers. This is the deep, dark bowels of the Drukhari. These are the most awful. The homunculus is, sometimes homunculi are so old, no one really knows how you become one, because they've actually sucked away the life force of so many Drukhari to keep them alive for so long. But sometimes they're so old where even that won't work anymore. So they don't have the beautiful appearance of Drukhari anymore. They are in fact like old and gross.
How old are we talking here?
10,000s.
Wow.
Like maybe maybe some even 10,000. Thousands upon thousands.
So these could be like original Eldar.
Possibly. They are incredibly old.
Wow.
And they believe that pain and torment is in its own right an art form.
I'm sure they do. Whoa. The pictures of them are really cool, though.
All their little spindly bits and poisons and needles.
All these different arms that have like tools on them and syringes, and they've got like those kind of long flowy capes. Oh, they're hideously amazing.
They are
I kind of love
dope.
them.
They're really cool and really bad boys.
It sounds like they're very bad boys, yeah.
They the whole concept of them is body modifications, a lot of flesh sculpting. These are the people who turn you into a couch. Yes. If you want to be living, breathing furniture, they will do that to you. They specialize in the concept that a new canvas of flesh. It is a canvas. It is an art form. If you go down into the Homunculi Covens, that's like going down into the voodoo idea of like a pirate cave where they can do things for you, but it's kind of sketchy and at a price. They can give you barbed quills on your shoulders. They can give you scales, poison spit. They can give you a third eye. They can give you an extra arm. Like, pay the price, and they will give you whatever you want. Now, it's gonna hurt. Oh yeah,
of course.
But they can modify your body if you want to become different.
So the homunculi in like Drukhari society are probably pretty popular, and they're probably pretty like, because everybody probably wants a new modification that's going to make them more apt at killing and or torturing or whatever. So they're probably pretty popular for Drukhari. Like, if you're a POW, I'm sure the last thing you want to see is a homunculi. But if you're just like a trooper or a general, you probably want to go visit them. Like, it might cost a lot and it might hurt, but in the long run, they gonna make you a savage.
That is absolutely the point. Homunculi are often very rich.
I bet.
I bet. Very wealthy for all that they can do. In fact, they get so strange, though. They've been around for so long that their obsessions are starting to get really bizarre. Like, some of them will only eat the left hands of victims. And one of them, and I kid you not, this is literally verbatim in the wiki, will only enjoy dining on the tears of children.
Oh, that's
They will
so
literally
awful.
drink the tears of children because they find it sweeter. They
Oh,
get
that's
very weird.
bad. Oh, that's bad. That makes me feel uncomfortable. Um, I was gonna ask, do the cursed blade frequent the homunculi maybe more than the other witch cults? Because they seem like they have a lot of hidden gadgets and hidden doodads and poisonous this and poisonous that stuff. So, like, did they visit the homunculi more than the other populace of the Drukhari?
I don't really know. I mean,
Okay.
that's a theory that is generally is possible, but I'm not
Yeah.
quite sure myself.
It's just because it sounded like the Curse Blade had a lot of hidden weapons and, a lot of different poisons in a lot of different places. So I've kind of thought that maybe they had like a special arrangement with the homunculi or something.
Possibly. I mean, normally every cult and cabal has an arrangement with a homunculi. That's like their scientist kind of guy.
Oh. Okay.
But it all depends. So the first coven we want to talk about is the Prophets of Flesh. This is ran by a man known as Urian Rakarth. Talked about Urian a little bit before. He might be one of the most sadistic fucks in all of 40k.
That's a tall order.
I think he might be number one. I think he might be the worst. He's really up there. Quote
Damn.
from himself. I have long taken an interest in humans and their crude dabbling in fleshcraft. The Adeptus Astartes are powerful warriors, but their creators have always been too restricted in their vision. This Primarch, Rabute Gilliman, occludes his mind to so many possibilities, and as such, will never achieve the perfection he seeks. The perfection that I define through the practice of my craft. If he wishes to learn from the master, let him come to me. I will gladly make room for him in my grandest oubliette.
Well, sounds well.
Or, pain is the only universal constant. Pain is all. It is the key to creation and destruction both. Thus, does he who masters pain become a god? Urian Rakarth, an excerpt from his address to his audience prior to the Melendrock massacre.
I was gonna say, if your goal is to master pain, then yeah, you're probably a pretty sadistic fucker in 40k. If your
Just
goal is
a
like,
tad.
yeah, I need to become the master of pain, it's like, oh boy, you definitely don't want to end up on his table.
He is a bad man.
Mm-hmm.
So the Prophets of Flesh are mainly now there's a group of people in the Covens known as racks. And racks are like your basic troop. These racks are branded, tattooed, or altered depending on their homunculus's whim. Now, if a rack will impress their master, they may have a said marked appendage cut off and replaced with a bare, brand new one from their flesh libraries. And that's kind of the concept, is that the more powerful they are and the better they do, the fewer of their marked flesh is placed. Hence the term Prophets of Flesh. That is a rack that Shai just posted.
Whoa! Holy shit! Those things are crazy.
Racks are really nuts.
Yup.
I don't know the
Whoa.
best way to describe them.
Just look at the picture if you're watching. Yeah, those
What?
are hard to describe.
I don't know how to. Yeah, they're definitely like their basic troops, but they're really tanky. That's the idea for their look. I don't really know exactly how to describe them, but yeah, it's racks.
They are edgy boys for sure. Oh my god.
But definitely more Frankenstein-y looking motherfuckers.
Oh,
yeah.
oh, definitely. Like, you can see so many like stitches all over their body, and it's just, whoa.
Yeah, they're individuals that are dissected and refashioned into instruments of torture.
Holy
They are
shit.
bodyguards or even assistants, and they have all this weaponry. Like, they look like a mini homunculus, you know?
That is if I was going into a battle, that is the last thing I'd want to see on the opposite end of me. It's like, yeah, just go fight it. It's like, nope. Fuck this shit, I'm out.
I disagree.
Yeah, wholeheartedly. I am outie.
Yeah, they're pretty cool looking, though. The other coven is the Dark Creed. Now, these are probably the closest to Night Lords I can think of. They're terror specialists. However, they prefer they really like a different kind of like higher level terror. They love to watch their victims like freak the fuck out. and will drive captives to madness or suicide just to show their superiority over them.
Oof. So they're the jump scare coven.
They believe that the finest victory, the victory that tastes the sweetest, is because murder is boring to them.
Oh.
They believe that the finest victory is when the opponent's heart stops and they die immediately in pure fear. That is the finest victory.
Jeez. That is very Night Lordsy.
It is. Granted, the Night Lords like their...
I was going to say the Night Lords want to keep them alive for as long as possible, so the suffering really endures.
Not quite. The Night Lords just want to cause the most fear, and they just want to enjoy the murder.
That's true. I guess Talos was doing that because he wanted to make the super scream.
Yeah, that was his own shtick.
Yeah.
But the Dark Creed likes to perform their kills from a distance, so they can see the death throes of their enemies from a distance, and everyone can see it. They also carry a ton of those pain engines that I told you earlier, and they cover them in like trophies and people. Yeah. That's their main thing. But one of my more fun ones I want to talk about, the last one, is the Coven. I know. Is the Coven of the 12. Now, the
Are there only 12 of them?
There are actually only 11.
Oh, well,
but there are 12 seats. The 12th seat is in case Urian Rakarth himself would ever want to join from an invitation.
Okay.
But this coven considers themselves the most important practitioner of the dark arts. And whenever a council member is to be replaced, is it only if they've been removed so incredibly that there is no way they can be revived. For example, one of the homunculi was actually pushed and contorted into a mirror dimension the size of a coffin that is too small for his body and left there.
Oh no, that's pretty awful.
So he could never get back, so that someone replaced him. One was posed a curse and an impossible riddle. And with each wrong answer, more of his body turned to stone until he was nothing but a statue.
Oof, Jesus, how did that happen?
I don't know. Who gives a shit? It's cool.
Oh, just some bullshit? Okay.
One of them was tricked into, in a banquet, tricked into drinking a Tyranid bioacid and was turned into a living, sentient liquid soup.
Oh!
And was then replaced from there.
Oh, that's the worst one. Living sentient liquid soup because he drank biomass acid? That's a thing?
He drank Tyranid acid.
And so he technically survived that, and now he's just sentient soup?
Yep.
Oh.
He can't come back.
I think I'd rather be a sofa. Jesus Christ. Oh man. Slurp slurp. Oh no. Nope. I don't like it. I don't like it.
For in the Covenant of the 12, a lot of their racks are actually flayed of all their skin so that their raw nerves can experience the sensation of the world more.
Oh boy.
By having their raw nervous system exposed to the world, they can experience the wonders of the world more.
Oh god, that's so fun. Holy shit. All right. Cool.
Oh dude, you want to see my favorite piece of artwork for the Drukhari Covens?
Yes, I do. I guess.
Here's a rack. Look at this dude. Look at that.
Let's see.
Those poor guardsmen.
Whoa. Well, and wait, those are the 12 racks?
Oh, those are just racks. No, these are probably not
racks.
The 12s because they still have their skin.
I was gonna say, man, skin grew back. But yeah, they're pretty nuts. I think I remember seeing a mini of these racks and thinking they looked super dope, and I might want to paint them. Except I think the mini had a lot more like tubes and shit going in their back. And they were painted up like all green, and it was very cool looking minis.
That sounds almost like a paint engine.
Maybe it was a paint engine. I don't know. Shai said this red one is from the Coven of 12 because he's red because he's skinned.
Because he has no skin.
No skin.
Like this is like a Talos, for example. You know?
Those are the ones that I saw, Shy, that I thought looked really cool, and I was like, oh, maybe I want to get into the Drukhari because look at how cool those minis are.
Oh, those racks right now on the tabletop are really good.
Are they?
Yeah, they decided to nerf the Drukhari because Cabals and Witches were way too good, but by doing so they decided to buff the Covens to make up for it. But the Covens were already kind of good, and now the Covens are fucking annihilating people. They are crushing people.
So people are just running like all Coven Drukhari tabletop armies?
There is a thing where they are running like 9 of the Chronos paint engines. And they're just crushing people. They're just slaughtering people.
How soon till the Covens and all that gets nerfed too?
Dude, Drukhari have been like top level since they've come out. I feel bad for the Drukhari fans because they have been so good for so long. People are sick of them, including myself.
Didn't you get bodied by a Drukhari at like a tournament or something? And like you started 3-0 and then Drukhari.
Oh no, actually that was the orcs. But I did get bodied by Drukhari before. I have been bodied by Drukhari.
Yeah. Well, it sounds like it's a pretty common thing with how strong they are to get bodied by Drukhari. Like it's a rite of passage if you're playing 40K. At some point, you got to get bodied by the Drukhari.
But yeah, that's overall. These are some of the Covens, Cabals, and cults that make up the Drukhari. Like I can imagine just a really, really cool person who has their own little OC group. They have their own witch cult. They have their own gladiatorial arena. Then they have their own like custom OC. Please do not steal.
Oh yeah.
Idea for that. I could see some really smart and interesting players making some cool stuff.
This is definitely just ripe for making like your own like custom creations and your own custom covens and cults and witch cults and yeah. And I mean the ones that already exist are super cool. Repulsive and disgusting, certainly, but man, that the aesthetic of these guys is dope.
Oh, I do want to mention real quick. There is another group called the Incubi. Incubi,
like male succubuses.
Yes, they are actually blades for hire. They look fucking cool too.
I was gonna say, Shai just posted the picture one. That's fucking sick. That sword is the coolest thing I've ever seen.
Yes, the Incubi are awesome. They are generally they are known as blades for hire. Often people run the Cabal, the Black Heart, because it's the only one that gives rules to them because they are under Vect. But it's also run by this guy known as Drizar. And
that's I remember Drizar.
You remember Drizar? Yeah, he's got
Drizip.
For example,
So
this is a Clavex is the name of a leader of Incubi. And, quote, "The blade that I wield is an extension of myself as I am an extension of my blade. We both thirst for blood. We both seek only murder. And only in death do we find purpose in life."
Oh, what?
They are kind of I studied the blade. They are kind of like
yeah.
while you were having premarital sex.
I studied the blade. The Incubi are cool. They might be my favorites from this whole thing. They're so cool.
Which is good because Drukhari Incubi on the tabletop not only look amazing.
Oh, fuck, they do look amazing.
But they also fuck. Drizar is really, really good.
I love that the sort of greatsword that they use where they have to like hold it in the middle too. Those look so fucking cool. Their swords are so cool. Ooh, Drizar definitely got that Drizip.
He's got some serious Drizip.
He do, though. He do. Damn, they're so Incubi are the big winners of this episode for me.
For me, it was learning about the cults. I like the cults a lot.
The cults are very cool. Yeah.
Anywho, that appears to be it, my friend. Any questions? Because we went through a long episode today.
We did a lot. It didn't feel long. Like this was like an entertaining episode that it's like, whoa, shit. It's been an hour and 20 minutes. Like, it just went by like a flash, because each one is super interesting. Drukhari are all kinds of fucked up, but it's really cool. Yeah, it's gonna feel long for Shy because she has to edit our ramblings, but who cares?
We're Shy. Where's that meme where it's like DK and Bricky die and Shy has to drink fungus beer because her life has gone to shit.
That's right. Yeah, put that meme up on the screen. But yeah, good. I thoroughly enjoyed this. I wanna get some. Although I was about to say I would like to get some Incubi, but they kind of look like a pain in the ass to paint. Especially the swords look kind of like a pain in the ass to paint a little bit.
Look a little hard, but even so, I might get myself like a pack of witches and just paint them up, see how they go.
Yeah, let's make some
really
OC
fun.
witches. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. And with that, thank you everyone for watching. Make sure you get your daily dose of slaves, your daily dose of pain. Vote Drukhari. They believe in torture equality.
By the Adeptus Ridiculous does not condone the use of slaves, pain, or torture. Just an FYI for any legal departments that may or may not be listening and or watching.
Speak for yourself, bitch.